who I'm speaking to. That's number one. More importantly, it's nice to get to know which part of the world that you guys are tuning in from, because sometimes when I pull out information, I like it to be relevant to your country. So all of this makes sense. I don't want it to just be a South African presentation. So let me just copy this here and paste. So there you go. Rajesh, thank you for this beautiful song.
Because it's a live no, it said that.
Thank you. So guys, at the bottom of the screen on the chat, you'll see the link for this call, right? So we've got Jadlin from O'Connor from South Africa. Good to see you. Nishka, welcome. We've got Jody from New Zealand. Jody, thank you. I know it's early in the morning. Thank you for sacrificing and being here. We got iPhone 2 from Midrand. Denise, hey, Denise from New Zealand. How you do the haka? You need to teach me how to do the tongue thing and all of that. Lovely meeting you in Malaysia this last week. What great people to be around. So Jordy says, thank you, Denise. Okay, we see New Zealand is in the house, and we've got Deshan from Durban. And then we've got Makanani Molefe. Makanani, I think I invited you, I'm not sure. Then we've got Pindi from Midrand, Dealer from Durban. Okay, guys, keep it going, keep it going. So let's start, okay? Before I even start, I just want to ask you guys something in the chat. I want you to please, we have to make this 2 ways, right? How many of you on the call who haven't been on my call before know what is Web3? Because none of this is going to make sense to you if you don't know where we're going with technology. Am I making sense? So I can tell you that this is a commodity that you need to accumulate, but if it doesn't make sense as to why, you won't really want to accumulate. Am I making sense? So in the chat, if you know what is Web3, type in yes. If you don't know what is Web3, type in N for no. Even if there's one person who does not know, I will explain it to you, because if I get through to one person, my job here is done. So as that comes in there, so we go to it says no. Okay, cool. So the reason why we're doing this is because I want you guys to understand that we're not here to sell you anything. We're merely here pointing you in a direction where the big corporates, where banks, where the smart money is going. So if you know where smart money is going, you can position yourself. Am I making sense? But obviously, I need to prove it to you. So that is why I'm asking if you know what is Web3. Okay, cool. So we've got a whole lot of no's that does not know what is Web3. And I want to explain it to you in a very simple way. Okay, so pay attention, get rid of all the distractions. If you've got a pen and paper, bring it, because I want to explain to you. And I'm going to come closer to my camera so you guys can feel me. So when the internet was first created, okay, you could only read. So basically, it was like your Yahoo News, etc. You could only read. So Web 1 was read only. Making sense? Cool. As time evolved, technology, the internet, we moved into Web 2. Now, Web 2 is read and write. That means you could read something on the internet and you could respond, like email, social media, your banking app, your whole bank system, everything is on Web 2. Now, what is scary about the Web 2? Web 2 basically owns you. They own your digital data. So if you're on Facebook and 3 years ago you said you like that handbag, you like that shoe, you like that car, you like that holiday house, guess what? Social media, what they do is better. They create an avatar of you, and whatever you like, they just throw it into the profile. So you, as you on social media, and as you email your friends and buddies, and as you swipe your cards, you're leaving a whole lot of digital crumbs. Am I making sense? Digital crumbs, digital footprints, and these guys scoop all of that up and they sell it. So right now, your Gmail account is worth up to $180,000. But how much you get from there? Zero. So let's recap. Web 2 is read and write. That's it. These guys, your Meta, your Google, Microsoft, your banking system owns you. They sell your data, but there's nothing you can do about it. Unfortunately, a lot of people on this call, before they jumped on this call, probably didn't even know that. But now you do. So 2008, blockchain came about. With blockchain came crypto. With crypto came AI, the fourth industrial revolution. Okay, so all that there is the Web3 space. Now, what is Web3? Web3 is read, write, and own. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to show you how to own your own banking system on Web3. Now, when crypto came out, the blockchain came out, the Web2 space where all your banks are were dead against Web3. They were dead against crypto. That is why every crypto project that you actually done from 2024 and beyond, 2024 and prior to that day was shut down. Why? Web2 didn't like the idea because they were losing the digital information. Where you're spending your money, because Bitcoin, nothing can be tracked. XRP, nothing can be tracked. So Web2, the banks, they were dead against it. They said, crypto is a sham. And, they went all out. Even governments went all out. Any crypto project you did, they came to you. That is why, up to today, none of you have bought Bitcoin at $100. Why? Propaganda. Web2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new frontier. My name is Shane D. I've been in the space for the last 14 years. One of the first people to buy a car on the blockchain with crypto, with Bitcoin. And I'm going to show you how we're transitioning onto Web3. So Web3, read, write, and you own your digital data. Welcome to the money. Now, before I even continue, I must tell you, I'm going to show you some figures. I'm going to show you some percentages that's going to shock your mind. You're going to sit there and say, oh my God, I can't believe this exists. The reason being is that you have been, I would say, I won't use the word brainwashed, but we've been programmed to live in the world of Web2, where the banks say you 5% for the year, 7% for you for a year, and you are happy with it because that's all you know is the banking system Web2. But as we move on to Web3, you're going to find that because you own your data, there's more to just those 5%. Who's eager to learn more? How many of you guys got value from what I just told you right now? There's a reaction bar there. The more you react, the more you type in the chat, I know that you guys are listening to me, right? So we are moving from Web2 to Web3. So how do we do it? And what are we talking about today? So as I said on this call, nothing is scripted. So I'm going to go directly to live websites to show you factual information. This is not my opinion. So let's talk about the crypto space in the Web3. Market cap over 2.52 trillion. Now, some of you missed Bitcoin, some of you missed Ethereum, but ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about something called XRP. Now, it's going on sale at the moment, as you can see, $1.32. Now, if you are from South Africa, and let's do some quick math for you so you know what we're talking about. So if we look at one XRP today, okay, see there. We look at 21 Rand 82. Okay, affordable, right? If you are from New Zealand, let's type in New Zealand. New Zealand, what is your currency there in New Zealand? Guys, help me out with this one. Type it in the chat for me so I could search for you. Let's see, New Zealand dollar, right? I think so. See, that's why I say, guys, my calls are very different because I do things live because I want to give you factual information. So New Zealand dollar, right? New Zealand dollar to XRP. We're looking at $2.26, call it $2.50. I hope you guys are happy with that. So it's like relatively cheap right now. So what is the market cap for XRP? 82 billion, guys. And as you can see, in the last 24 hours, it's up by 14.74%. This is live stats. As you can see it going up. So what is Ripple? What is XRP? Okay, so let's stop this and share with you. So Ripple is the company. They created XRP. It's a banking token. So Ripple is the company and XRP is the token. So some people say, hey, I got some Ripple. You don't really own Ripple, you own XRP. I'm giving you some education, right? So why was it created? It's the fourth largest cryptocurrency worth 82 billion. But Shane, why are we talking about Ripple on this call? What does Ripple got to do with Web3? This is what it has to do with Web3. Ladies and gentlemen, as of 2025, there's been a lot of movement in South Africa. This is Absa Bank, 15th of October 2025. Absa Bank partners with Ripple. Now, why is the banks moving to crypto, which is a Web3 space? Can you see they're moving, right? So if we know where they are moving to, what we can do, we can position ourselves and make sure we have a whole lot of this. So I did some homework because this could be a one-off wonder, like, or just one bank in South Africa. So I did some homework. As of 2025, pay attention to this, guys. This is going to blow your minds apart. So this is basically a list of institutions that are using and adopting exploring XRP. Major institutions that bank, SBI Holding, Japan. Now, let's look at dates because, dates are very, very important. Timelines for me is very important. So this is 2025, 14th March. What did they say? SBI Holdings Japan. So let's do this here. Let's just type in Ripple Japan. So that's 2025. 1 year later, what are we talking about? Let's look at this. Ripple and SBI plan to distribute RLUSD in Japan, which is part of XRP. Can you see that? This is Ripple, guys. This is happening as of August 2025. Now, let's take it a step deeper, okay? Let's look at one more step deeper. Ripple cross-border payments over 27 million transactions. It's already happening in Japan, UAE, Bank of Japan, as I said, USA, PNC Financial Services. These guys here have a whole lot of ATMs. American Express USA, UK, Spain. Why are they moving to Ripple? I want you to keep asking yourself this question as I go on. South Korea, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam, Russia, Standard Bank, South Africa. Okay, so let's check with New Zealand. What's happening in New Zealand? Because we got some friends here from New Zealand, right? So let's type in Ripple New Zealand. And guys, anybody can do this. The thing is, we don't know where to search for this stuff. Okay, that's why these calls are important, because you get to know where it's happening. There you go, already happening. Updates, what's the crypto rank 11 hours ago? Confirmed that admin sees a modesty path for New Zealand 24. Can you see this, guys? From when they are talking, 2025. A draft proposal. As much as we are in the country, we have no idea that this is happening. Convert XRP to New Zealand dollars, that this is actually happening in the back end. Now, let's go deeper. These are the countries: UAE, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Mexico, Europe, India, Japan, Australia, South Korea, Africa. These are the future adoption: Middle East, Latin America, Africa, Southeast Asia. And I'll leave you with this. Why is this move happening? I want you to think now. I want you to think as a businessman. Okay, Shane, you showed me XRP is $1.35. You showed me that a whole lot of banks and countries are moving to Ripple. How do we position ourselves? What are you trying to say? This is where my presentation is actually going to start, because your mind needs to know exactly why you're collecting something called XRP, right? So the next thing you're going to tell me, Shane, but isn't XRP just like an ordinary crypto? What makes it so special? I can buy Bitcoin if I want to. Why are you so passionate about XRP? So watch this here. Share screen again. XRP is officially classified as a digital commodity, not a security. Can you see that? It is classified as a digital commodity. Classification: XRP as definitely categorized as a digital commodity under the Commodity Exchange Act. So let's change the word now, because a lot of people on this call, when you mention the word crypto, they get the heebie-jeebies. Ooh, crypto. Let's use the word commodity. So what are the other commodities you know of? Gold, silver, oil, uranium. Now we're adding XRP to your portfolio, which is cheap. So there's no reason for any one of you on this call to tell me, Shane, I can't afford XRP when it's at under $3 and under 25 Rand. You understand? Now the next part is, okay, what's your point? How do we accumulate? That's when I'll open up my PowerPoint and show you how we accumulate and what tool we are using to accumulate. Okay, so you guys are good with the first part. I'm not just asking you to collect a token. I showed you Why? Because your brain works like that. Your brain asks reasons. Because some of you might get off this call and say, yeah, you spoke to me, XRP, I need to commit, but why is it important to me? That is why it's important, because governments are making big moves. And today on this call, you can position yourself. Good? Let's go with the presentation. So welcome to XAB. XAB basically means XRP AI bot. That's what it means. XRP AI bot, where your XRP grows. So I'm not here to offer you financial advice. You can do research. You can go, well, I did the research for you as well, but if you want to do your own research, you're welcome to do that, right? Now, let's talk about the top 3 currencies. Bitcoin is an asset token, okay? Like this here, asset token. You buy and you hold long term. That's why it's 77,000. Ethereum is a technology token. It's a layer 1 blockchain where you create dApps, which is decentralized apps. So let me explain this, right? So in the Web 2 world, we call it an app. Web 2 world, we call it finance. In the Web 3 world, remember I told you we're moving, we call it a dApp or DeFi, decentralized finance. You understand? So when I say dApp, that means it's Web3 on the blockchain. So Ethereum is a technology blockchain where you create dApps, decentralized finance, NFTs, meme coins, all that is on Ethereum. And XRP is a banking token, which I just showed you why the world is moving towards. Okay, you know what? Let me show you something else, right? This was something that I needed to show you, right? Ripple EU license. Check this out, guys. Many of you don't know this, right? But this is important if you want to grow your business of outside of your country, right? So Ripple secures a full EU e-money license in Luxembourg. This happened in February 2026. So all this is happening in real time. And Ripple global license count has now surpassed 75. Can you see? Following the recent approvals in the United Kingdom. So what I'm saying to you is this, that it's already got its banking license throughout Europe. So if you have people living in Europe that don't know this, it's important for us to educate them. And how you educate them is by bringing them on calls like this. So let's get on with the presentation and continue from there. Now, as I said, these are the first 3 cryptos, but let's dwell into XRP. What makes XRP so special? So XRP was launched in June 2012. It is used by banks, which I've just showed you. See, this is the beauty of what I do in the beginning, because if you just read this here, you might say, yeah, it says that, but does it really? Now, with the information I showed you, you cannot deny what I just showed you, right? And it's created to replace the SWIFT banking system. This is Brad Garlinghouse. He's the CEO and of XRP. So let's talk a little bit about this. So who is Brad Garlinghouse? He is actually on the advisory board for the bill called the Clarity Bill. The Clarity Bill is signed in the US right now. It already passed the first Senate on votes 15-9 for the banking committee. So XRP is already there. The next is going to pass the floor in the next 2 months. Once that happens, that means the regulation is already set and the price of XRP goes up. And Brad Garlinghouse, he is part of the advisory. So you guys know that we got the right person at the right time. Now, it did say that it's there to replace the SWIFT banking system. Now, back to the chat. How many of you guys know what is the SWIFT banking system? If you do know what is the SWIFT banking system, type in yes. If you don't know, type in no, because this is very, very important for you to understand why banks are moving to the Web3. So Denise says no. Okay, fine. Jeff said yes. Okay, guys, keep it coming. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you guys what is the SWIFT banking system. So the SWIFT banking system was created in 1973. Long time ago. 52 years old. And it worked. Why? Money was not digital at the time. So when you took your money to the bank and you said, hey, I want to send this money home to my family in England, New Zealand, Australia, whichever country, you kind of, psychologically accepted the fact it's going to take 2 to 3 business days. Because yes, I took my cash to the bank, and then by the time they count it and put it in money bags, then they take that and put it on the ship or a plane and goes across. You sort of rationalize that it takes 2 to 3 business days. And it worked for 52 years. But ladies and gentlemen, as banks got digitized, and you can send money from one person to the other within a split second, and then you sit there and think, wait a minute, if I can send money from point A to point B within my country, why does it take so long to send money cross-border. And the banks in the Web2 space were stuck. They'd say, oh my God, we can't do anything because the SWIFT system is the SWIFT system. It's slow, it's expensive, we can't do anything. So they were looking for a way now to pivot, to move from Web2 to Web3. And that is why when Bitcoin and crypto came out, they were dead against it because they were afraid that Bitcoin, now think about it, if a businessman is on this call, right? They want to buy something from China. Instantly, bam, send the money across within 3 to 5 minutes. The money is there. China is releasing the goods back into the country. Whereas another person who's reading to the banking system, Web2, you will have to wait 2 to 3 business days just for your money to go across. Then they ask you, whose money? Why are you sending? What's the need for sending? Which, yet it's your money. So banks are now, they are afraid because businessmen are moving the monies across to crypto. So they need to evolve. You understand, ladies and gentlemen, they need to move to a smarter payment system. But during the course of all of this, let me bring something else to your attention because this is very, very important. Because what has happened to the SWIFT system, it has been weaponized. Okay, let's look at countries, regions showing future potential. What's happening in the Middle East at the moment? What's happening in Latin America in terms of Venezuela, Mexico? What happened in Africa, Burkina Faso, that's happening at the moment, Sudan, Libya, Southeast Asia, countries like Vietnam, Thailand, and we just came back from Malaysia, so we know there's a lot of movement in this area with crypto. Why are they moving, ladies and gentlemen? And this is mind-blowing. Come closer. Russia attacks Ukraine. We all know that. What does America do? The head of SWIFT, they put sanctions on Russia. When you put sanctions in the country, what do? You disable the SWIFT payment system. That means those citizens cannot communicate financially to the rest of the banks around the world. They can't send money out. That's how you financially cripple a company, or a country rather. But here's what happened. $300 billion of bonds and treasuries that was in the US were frozen. And what's happening now? Other countries saw that and saying, oh, wait a minute. We've got so much of dollars in bonds and treasuries. What if we don't agree to the powers that be? And if they put sanctions on us and disable the SWIFT payment system, we need a plan B. You understand what's the hurry now? They need a plan B for the SWIFT payment system. That is why XRP was created. If I go back and if you check what I showed you, it says XRP was created to replace the SWIFT banking system. Does it make sense, everybody? Type in yes, please, because this has to be two-way. I need you to understand this before I move on to the next one. This slide here is of utmost importance. Did I make sense? Now you know why the countries are moving. And ladies and gentlemen, you know what's nice about this? Now that you know, you can position yourself. You can say, that's a master plan. So we need to take advantage of the situation now before the rest of the world catches up. That is why I say you thank the person who invited you to the call today, because without even you seeing our product, you already got education on how to position yourself with XRP. Good. Let's move on because of time. Okay. Let's move on. Sorry, guys. This is how I do my presentation. I like to have a conversation with you. And that's how I do it, right? So SWIFT, old, slow, expensive, confusing. We already know that. XRP, new, fast, free, transparent. 1,500 transactions per second, ladies and gentlemen. How long does it take you to send a bank over Web2? That the banking system? 2 to 3 business days? Not here. That is why the banks are moving over. Okay? Now, how do we position ourselves? So if there's 11,500 banks in the SWIFT payment system, over 200 countries, what if, ladies and gentlemen, what if XRP just captures 25% of the 11,500 banks? That would push the price of XRP to $10,000. And you can see it happening in real time right now. The US, my YouTube doesn't get banned for this, but we're all watching. We see what's happening with countries who don't agree with that big guy up there. Okay. So what's our goal? The person who invited you to the call has a plan for you. We want to make you $1 million within the next 6 to 12 months. We saying if XRP just goes to $10, leave $10,000, ladies and gentlemen. Leave $10,000, $7,000, $5,000, $100. We saying just $10, which it is possible by end of this year, right? And we help you on this call to accumulate 100,000 XRP. And if it goes to $10, that would make you a dollar millionaire. Who likes to be a dollar millionaire? Type in yes in the chat. If you don't, okay, this is the conversation that I need to have to use. See, some of you on this call, when you look at the $1 million, you're already looking at based on where you are currently in your life. Maybe you're going through a difficult time. Maybe you just lost a job. Or maybe you're worth a lot of money. I don't know. So when you talk about being a dollar millionaire, some of us, our mind shuts off because we haven't had that opportunity before. So you don't allow yourself to dream. You don't allow yourself to believe. You don't allow yourself to manifest. Why? Because you're living in the Web 2 world where everything is governed by the banking system, where you only get 5 to 7% a year. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take your predominant thought and put it in the box, wrap it up, put a string around it, and flush it or throw it away because those days are over. This is Web 3. I'm going to show you percentages that's going to blow your mind. This is going to allow you to dream again because it's the first time in history in your life, not your great-grandfather, not your grandfather, not your father was in a position where they could position themselves where banks were changing payment systems. So when I talk percentages and $1 million, I'm allowing you to dream again because the time is now. Now you may ask, but Shane, who the hell are you to tell us about making $1 million? Well, ladies and gentlemen, and I say this not to impress you, but to impress upon you that I did do it with Bitcoin, $2.6 million to be precise. And what's the difference between then and now? You see, I did before 2024, where banks were against me, governments were against me, Facebook was against me, South African SARS was against me, banking staff was against me. Oh, Bitcoin, fake, bubble. I went through all of that and I still made money. Imagine you guys on this call right now that's sitting here with the banks and saying, hey, I'm partnering with Ripple. Hey, I'm partnering with Ripple. Over 300 banks around the world. Where does that leave you, ladies and gentlemen? $1 million is peanuts to what you're going to make in the next couple of years. I want you to believe that because we are in a technology that's evolving so fast with AI that's making more millionaires and billionaires than it's ever been seen before. I was on a call with a gentleman yesterday, one of the biggest network marketers. And he told me, Shane, it took me 8 years to make $1 million. 8 years. And with this year, in 6 months, we're making people dollar millionaires. You understand how powerful that is? Why? Because now is our time. AI, blockchain, crypto. Okay? So I want you to believe we're going to show you how to get you to 100,000 XRP. Okay? Now, how to earn XRP. Now, a lot of people buy XRP and they sell it. We're going to show you how to make it work for you. And how do we do that, ladies and gentlemen? How many of you on the chat, existing members, love this little guy, especially when you see him running and trading for you? This is our AI bot. Okay? Now, how it works, I want to explain to you. So it's arbitrage trading built on a win-win model. This is Dr. Jack Van Miller. In the end, I'm going to play a video with him to show you exactly how the bot works. So you've got to stick around for that because all of this will make sense. So I know there's a whole lot of words written here, but I like to explain it in the easy way so everybody can understand. After all, I don't have a college degree. And if I can't understand it, I can't explain it. So I'll explain it to the way I understand it. Anybody's up for that there? Arbitrage trading. So some of you heard of Forex trading where you put in a buy and you wait for the market to go up to hit your buy, then you make a profit, and if it doesn't, it goes back down, and then stop loss and your money is gone. Okay, that is Forex trading, where you're trading against two pairs. Arbitrage trading is completely different. Arbitrage trading is done by banks and institutional investors because you need a lot of money. Now, how does it work? So let me explain. So I just showed you that with XRP, we have over 1,000 exchanges, right? I can prove it. I can go to the coin market cap. But our company, the XAB Club, we work with the four biggest exchanges, which is Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, and Bitstamp. I want you to remember those names because I'm going to show you live just now. So what it does is all of those four exchanges sell XRP. But ladies and gentlemen, did you know at any given time that there's a slight price variation on each exchange? So one exchange may say $1.34.3.4. One may say 134.3.2. So there's like the fraction of a difference. Okay. So you can do this if you've got a fast internet, if you've got supercomputing. You can also do this, right? People do arbitrage trading, but it takes a lot of concentration. You need super fast internet. So what our bot does, very simple. It scans those four exchanges, see where the price is low. It buys from one exchange and sells to the other exchange and gives us the profit. So a lot of people ask me, but Shane, what if XRP price dropped down to 50 cents? Well, those exchanges are still going to sell XRP. Am I right or am I right? So whether it's 50 cents or it's $100 or $1,000, if there's still going to be a slight price variation because they're still selling those XRP, right? Sorry, guys, my phone is buzzing. So that's what our bot does. So it looks at those differences, buys and sells. Am I making everybody understood that? So it's not trading where you're going to lose because if there's no price difference, it won't do a buy. Only when it notices, and I'll show you that live. Okay, so let's recap so you guys understand. Scans multiple exchanges in real time, detects the price variation in XRP, rapid automated win trades only, speed and precision, buy low, sell high. Okay, easy peasy. And all our equipment is held in Finland. Let me give you some stats about that because I don't normally talk about that. So when I'm called, and by the way, guys, you can be on calls with Dr. Jack Van Miller, right? He's the creator and the CEO of this bot. So you can log on to calls on Sunday, 9 p.m. South African time, and you can watch this bot working in real time. It's open to everybody. So here's what's interesting. All our equipment is held in Finland in a data center that handles the bookings for British Airways and some of the governments. That is how secure our information is. Okay, we have IBM quantum computing. We have the latest in AI. We have hundreds of programmers. Dr. Jack gave me a rundown, and it's absolutely amazing. So the infrastructure behind this, you are being part of something that's absolutely massive. So how does it work, guys? Your bot gives you a daily reward for up to. See, up to, because nothing in the space can be guaranteed because we don't know who's going to bomb who tomorrow, right? So up to 1%, 6 days a week. Why 6 days a week? I'll explain that in a jiffy. So how does it work? First of all, how much does it cost you to get your bot? Now, as you can see, it says 10 XRP and 1 XRP is the fee. So do some homework, ladies and gentlemen. 11 XRP. Now, Denise, in the chat, you can put in the amount, how much 11 XRP minimum is in New Zealand. So your guests, I'll just call it out. But if you're in South Africa right now, it's under 350 Rand. It depends on your exchange. Now, who can afford if it's New Zealand dollars, it's about $23 something, right? Who can't afford 350 Rand right now? Or $22 right now to lock yourself in the position? Okay, because it's cheap. Now, I don't want you to think this is a cheap business. The reason why it's cheap because the XRP price is low. Therefore, you're getting this as a deal. Once XRP price goes up, this bot becomes very expensive for an average household to actually own. But once you have a bot, that's it. You won't need to buy a bot again. Am I making sense? So let's go back. So it's about 35. So Denise says that's about $35. So if you are on this call from New Zealand, $35 once off. Not monthly fees, not weekly fees, nothing. $35 once off. So if that price point agrees to you, then you're in the right place if you have that amount of XRP. But ladies and gentlemen, you can come in with any amount, 12, 15, 18, 503, 2004. There's much as it says packages, but you can come in with any amount of XRP. So if you know friends and family who have XRP who's sitting and doing nothing, now they can take a basic package of minimum 11 XRP, and guess what? Make it work for them. So how does it work? Let's explain that in detail. So I said up to 1% a day. So that's around 20% per month. So a lot of people ask, but Shane, how soon can I get my money back? Well, up to 20% a month. We're looking at about 5 months where you can get your capital out, ROI. Now, if you have money in the bank, they're giving you 5% for the year. Yeah, you're doing 20% for the month. So how does it work? So this is a smart contract of the blockchain. Why? Web3, remember? Web3. Now, what is the difference? So if this was the company, you would be dealing with the company. Now, because this is Web3, you're dealing with the blockchain. Just like how Bitcoin is in the blockchain, Ethereum is on the blockchain, XRP is in the blockchain, the smart contract is on the blockchain. Am I making sense? So when you put your XRP in here, minimum being 11, you are commanding the program to go out, activate the bot, and give you a return up to 1% a day. So it's not controlled by a human being where they're going to get greedy and say don't pay you, because everything is zeros and ones. It's on the blockchain. It's a computer program. Welcome to my world of Web3, guys. So that bot is programmed to give you a 300% return. So if you come into 10 XRP, you're going to get 30 XRP. You come into 20 XRP, you're going to come with 60 XRP. Math is easy. But what's our target? Our target is 100,000 XRP. So some of you may say to me, hey, Shane, you know what? Can I take my earnings, my 20 XRP, and take another bot? Yes, you can take multiple bots, how many bots you want, but you cannot add to that bot. Why? Because it's a smart contract on the blockchain. On the blockchain, nothing can be edited, muted, or deleted. So you cannot add to your existing package, but you can take new ones. So you can take one for 10 XRP. Tomorrow you can take for 20 XRP. Next day you can take one for 4. It all depends on you. Now, why this is important? You see, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you work. You work very hard in your business. You work very hard in your job, and you are saving. Now, here's the myth about saving. How can you save something that loses value every day? You probably ask, Shane, what do you mean by that? Inflation. You saw the price of fuel at the pumps, price of food that's going up. All that is eating against your income. Now, no matter how many hours you work in a day, your salary is going to remain the same. The salary increase we get does not equal the amount of inflation that affects us. So you are saving something that's losing value every day. Now, let's recap. You take your savings, you buy some XRP. What is happening to XRP? What's going to happen to XRP? Who's buying XRP? Now, isn't common sense will tell you, let me put my money in where I'm getting a commodity that the world wants. New Zealand wants, the banking system of New Zealand, Japan, South Africa. Why must I leave it in the bank? Can't I make it work for me? Because if these smart monies are dealing with XRP and Ripple, why should I not put some of my savings, not all, some of my savings and make it work for me? Because you're accumulating an asset or a commodity that's going up in price. Normal, basic physics. Am I making sense? So whichever XRP you come in with, even at a later stage, it's going to give you a 300% return. Easy peasy, good. However, if you come in with 100 XRP and over, then you earn 400%. So if you've got, can afford 100 XRP and over, you get a 400% return, 99 XRP and below, 300% and 300% return. It's still good, you know what I'm saying? So how many of you guys understood that? So if you got a minimum of 11 XRP, you're going to get in touch with the person who invited you to the call and tell him, hey, you know what? I'm ready to put my XRP in here, and I want it to work for me instead of it sitting and doing nothing. So now that's the first part. The first part is for those of you who says, Shane, I don't like talking. I don't like being on calls. I don't like being on Zoom calls. I love my boss so much. I only want to focus on my work, or I love my business so much, but I need to accumulate this XRP. I want to be passive. So this is part where you get the link from the person who invited you here, and you have a nice day. However, these Web3 banks need exposure, just like Bitcoin, right? Web3 banking system needs exposure. Now, we are not Web2. That means we cannot go out and advertise on the billboard. We do this just like how Bitcoin became big, word of mouth. Yes, you're going to get a lot of people who don't understand Web3. That's going to tell you no, understandable. But when you get them on the call like this, they'll understand the transition, where banks are going. So we want to partner with you. So there's very, very few people on this call. In fact, I'm only speaking to 5% of you, because 95% of you probably just want to be passive. And that's just the law of averages, right? That is why 95% of the world's population work for 5% of the people. That is why 5% of the world's money is only shared with 5%. Sorry, 95% of the world's money is only shared with 5% of the people. And the 95% of the population have to share 5% of the world's money. You guys know all of this, right? If you didn't, well, now you know. So there's a special breed of people that we want to align ourselves with, especially in different countries like Namibia, like New Zealand. We want to take this Web3 banking system out. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to launch our card, because I can talk about making $1 million, but if I can not show you how you are going to cash it out, that's a problem, right? Ta-da! MasterCard just partnered with XAB. Our logo is on the front of the card. Every one of you will be getting a XAB credit card. I want to do a little Oprah Winfrey. Dash, one for you. Johnny, one for you. Nadira, one for you. Dylan, one for you. Rajesh, one for you. Everybody gets a card. Okay, so how does this work? You accumulate. You want to spend, go to the ATM, put your card in. We do a soft KYC. No need for your address, no need for your ID, just your email address. How many thousand people are unbanked in your country? South Africa, we have 7 million. The whole of Africa, 70 million. 700 million. I can't remember the facts right now. But this is a huge opportunity to get them onto Web3 banking, because Web2 banking, there's too much of red tape, too much of bureaucracy. Here, easy, okay? So you can go to the ATM, put your card in the machine, put in your PIN, boom, walla, walla, whichever country in, you get the cash out. Some people ask me, Shane, when I will get XRP out of the ATM? No. That's the conversion. So New Zealand, you get your New Zealand dollars. Namibia, your currency. Zimbabwe, I have no idea. You guys deal with so many different currencies. In South Africa, your rand. So who likes the idea of that? So our Web3 bank system works like this. Your bank says you, as a customer, good day, sir. How can I help you? Well, I've got X amount of money, no problem. We're going to give you 5% for the year, and there's your card. We're going to do the same thing. Sir, we've got the banking tool. We're going to give you up to 20% a month. There's your card. But you guys need training. You guys need posturing. You guys need to know who owns the company, how many skyscrapers we own. Okay, you need to know all of that information. You need to know what the company is worth for you to represent us. So you can't just go out and say, hey, come here, have a look, 300%, blah, blah, blah. People will listen to you. Why? Because they don't know where the world is transitioning to. So if you want to take this out, you're going to reach out to the person and invite you, says, you're going to tell him, hold my hand, show me, teach me, because we have trainings for you, because we are looking for a special breed of people to help us take this out. For those of you who are passive, who just want the bot to trade, no worries, you can do that. All you got to do is to activate your bot on a Tuesday. That's why it says 6 days a week, right? So how does it benefit you if you say, Shane, I want to be part of it? So let me give you an example. So I signed my wife, Atisha. So I asked Dr. Jack, okay, I'm signing my wife. Talk to me. What's it for me? He said, Shane, we're going to give you 8% of what Atisha takes, whatever XRP. I said, is it? That sounds good. So my wife took a bot. I made 8%. I said, okay, that's cool. Then Atisha took another bot. I made another 8%. Then she took another bot, and I made 8% every time. I said, whoa, wait a minute. If I should do this to 100 people, and every time they buy a bot, I'm going to get 8% every time. Yeah. And then I figured out, okay, that's the secret to get to 100,000 XRP. So my wife went to my daughter, baby. My daughter is 17 years old. We still call her baby. There's a bot you need to start trading arbitrage. So when Himani, let me just mute the mics here. So when Himani took the bot, my wife made 8%. I made 2%. I mean, wait a minute. I didn't even speak to my daughter, and I made 2%. There's something going on here. Himani took it to her school friends, and I made money. So we get paid 20 levels deep, and some of your mind will shut up. Oh, that structure again. Guess what? The banks are doing the same thing. You got the regional head office, then you got branches, then you got managers, and they get a percentage on the amount of turnover that the bank makes, according to the financial statement. How I know all of this? Because my wife was a private banker for Standard Bank. So let's look at the numbers. How does the numbers add up, ladies and gentlemen? Very, very simple, very, very easy. Okay. Let me just open my PowerPoint again, and let's go. So every Tuesday, you activate the bot. As I said, you tap on the bot. Some of us tickle the bot. You can see it's all sad here. And you click submit and yes, and it starts to wave. And the color, it all depends on the color of your package. So mine is green. Some of us under 5,000 XRP, so most of us are blue, right? So your bot changes the color, depends on the XRP that you have. So your payouts are done on a smart contract or your MasterCard, as I just showed you. So there are 4 level streams of income. This is for all my business partners out there who want to take my banking franchise, Web3 franchise around the world. This is for you. Pay attention, because this is where the millionaires are made. Direct, as I said, my wife, 8%. Okay. Every time they take a bot, you make 8% every time. Good news. Then level 2, 2%. Remember my daughter, level 2. As you went to level 3, 4, 5, 6, I get 1%. Level 7 to level 20. When we are around 11, 10, and 11, this is around 500,000 people, 500,000 people, you're earning 0.5% from. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a money-making machine right there for you guys. So the next thing is, I told Dr. Jack, we come from South Africa and we're hungry for something that's legit. We were hungry for something that's secure, that's going to be here for a long time. What are we talking about long term? What do you have for me long term? He said, Shane's, we've got ranks for you. And this is mind blowing. So let's just say together in my team, we are on a 500 XRP. In order to qualify for team bonus, we got to be on a 500 XRP. If our team has a team volume of 1,000 XRP, now you got to have 3, like my wife, then I've got maybe Denise, and then I've got probably let's see who else is the call here. That's a part of my team. We've got a whole lot of people that's part of my team. We've got Doomy here, Jane, we got Julian here. Julian, what's up, my man? So maybe I've got 4 or 5 personals that are brought in. And if all of the numbers add up to 1,000 XRP, not one person, all of them, I can get 6% of 1,000 XRP. Okay? But guess what? Once I claim and I get another volume, because what's going to happen? The team is going to buy more bots with the profit, because they don't want to cash it out now because it's still cheap. We want to cash out when it's higher. Or maybe they're taking the Web3 banking system out to the community. So more volume is coming in. So you can't stop that. You see the power of this? You cannot stop it. So guess what? It took me about 80 days, a little less than 80 days, to move from Ambassador 1 to Ruby rank. And I claimed 10% of, I think it was around 40,000 XRP. I mean, it's about 4,000 XRP. So the button resets. I start from 1,000 again. And it took me 2 months now. I'm already Sapphire. In less than 2 months, I'm already Sapphire. So when you look at these numbers, they go very, very fast, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about 100,000 XRP. Within 6 months, 12% of 100,000 XRP is 12,000 XRP times whichever currency you're in. That's a lot of money. Imagine it going to 10,000 or $10. This is where the billionaires are made. Okay. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that there because we do that in the trainings. I'm just doing it to cast vision so you guys know that we have a plan for you. So this was supposed to be in March, but because of the Middle East saga, we're having this in June. Next month, I'm going to be in Pattaya in Bangkok. And then in November, we move this date from September to November. We're going to be in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. How many of you guys like that? We're going to be in Egypt. Now, what I want to show you is property tokenization. Okay. Now, this is going to be launched next year, because I just want to digress a little bit because I want you guys to understand this. So yes, our AI bot is fantastic. It's working. Banks love it because remember, this tool is also not only used by us, it's used by other institutional investors, right? Because initially this was Web3. But what excites me is the company's next phase. Imagine one of you on this call can now have a property, get rent from a property in Dubai, London, New York. So this is called RWA, real world assets. And when we're in Malaysia, we did come across RWA. So our company has a whole lot of buildings where the penthouses and all of that is going to be rented out, and we can buy tokens with XRP. And guess what? When those properties are rented out, we will earn a percentage as a rental income. Give me a high five. So you understand that making $1 million with our bot is one thing, but when we get into property tokenization, RWA, real world assets, it's something extraordinary. So for those of you saying, but Shane, how mature is that sphere of business, RWA? So let's show you quickly what is happening. So this is one of the things. Ripple Dubai has launched a 280 million diamond tokenization project on the XRP ledger. Dubai has officially moved 1 billion AED, that's the currency, the dirham. That's about 280 million to the XRP ledger. And the Middle East's largest real world asset, RWA tokenization and projects to date. How many many of you guys believe you're in the right place at the right time? You are. Now, let's show you how the bot works, okay? Let me open up this video quickly and let's get that rolling. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cue this quickly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome.
This product of an engine and 80% listened truly to.
So this is Dr. Jack McMillan. This is obviously me. This is Mr. DMA from Romania. I met him in Dubai. That's how I got to meet these lovely people. This is Madam Julia from Italy. She's now based in Costa Rica. She bought a home there with XAB money. Why? To build the Latin American market. Why? Because they are unbanked. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how serious people are taking this, that they're moving to areas where they are unbanked so they could show the MasterCard. Because you could know somebody who's dealing with Forex, but they got no way to bring the money into the country because of tax, right? You can go to them with our MasterCard. So whichever project, real estate, whatever, whichever person is out there earning crypto, you can take our MasterCard to them. Then you're going to earn more commissions on that. Guys, people are moving their homes to promote this. So I want you to take this very, very seriously. The early adopters who see this here, they're really positioning themselves. This is Madam Shweta. She is our Chief of Operations. I was on a call with her today. In fact, I was on a 1-hour Zoom call with her, one-on-one, planning the South African event. They will be coming to South Africa in July. Well, we're looking at August now because of the June event. Everything got pushed back a month because of the war, but I will keep you guys updated on that day. So let's look at this bot working in real time. Who's excited? Give me some hearts in the chat. Give me some flames. Who's excited for what they saw so far? And who wants to see this bot working? I need to see some engagement in the chat. You ready for this, guys? You're better be sitting down. The chat is very quiet. I can't see anything happening on this chat. Who is ready for this? Type in me in the chat. Are you guys ready? Let's start this.
Community leaders. I remember in the beginning, in the pre-launch, Julia called me late in the night, happening around the world, and that's the data that goes inside the bot. And especially if you just take a look, you know, it's really hundreds of thousands of transactions, and it's going so fast. So the bot works with XRP and stablecoin transactions, XRP fiat currency transactions, real-time US dollar price already going above 150. We are waiting. Once it hits 150 and above, then it won't go back. So that's what we're going to see very shortly, going back up to 150 and above, 180 very shortly. XRP and other cryptocurrency transactions. And the financial statistics, almost $2 billion in trading volume just in the last moments. So again, it's not just us pushing this. This is really the world really believing in this system. Then here we have the live trades. We're very proud to say that we have over $41 million in trading accounts. It's not in dollars. It's of course in XRP, but it's expressed in dollars. We work with Binance, Kraken, Coinbase, and Bitstamp. And as you can see, there are small price differences between these. Manually, you could never do this. The price differences are too small and they dissipate too fast. But with artificial intelligence and machine learning and high-speed internet and good servers, and also quantum computing from IBM for optimization, we can execute trades very fast and create revenue and create profits. So you see here the trades coming in. Buys, for example, at Bitstamp, sells at Coinbase for a little bit higher. You know, you can see the amounts that's being bought and sold, the profits that are being made. Again, pretty risk-free because normally it's only for major institutional players arbitrage. We do it with XRP. We are totally new in this. We are really pioneers in this field. And it just doesn't execute a trade if it can't see a profit. So now I'm going really inside the bot, which doesn't look very pretty, but it's making good revenues. So here in the top, you can see how many attempts it is trying has made since I opened it. So I just click here on the trade. It's already hundreds. Now it will go to xrpscan.com. As you can see, 12 seconds ago, as it appeared in the system, the hashtag is there. 38 XRP successful trade. And let me.
I'm just going to pause it there, right? And I want to say something. Remember, I'm going to go back to the video now, but this is the education side. Remember, it said the hashtag is there. and there's a long address. What does that mean? So this is what it means in the Web 2 space, but this is what it means in the Web 3 space. In the Web 2 space, it means you going into the bank. Let's just say you're sending money abroad and it's taking longer to get there. It's like you going to the bank and telling the bank manager, look, I know you're sending my money across, but can I log into your servers, right? I need to log into your servers and to show me exactly where the money is. Web 2, control. Remember, they control your data, they control you. You cannot do that. But with the Web 3, you control your digital footprint. That means you can go to the XAB scan and the blockchain and you can see exactly where the transactions are. So for some of you, the call say, but Shane, where does a money company makes money? There's it right in front of you. You can verify that on the blockchain. So you don't need to bring in your whole family and say, oh, we need to bring in people to make money. This is nothing like what you've seen before, ladies and gentlemen. That is why I say from the beginning, I only want to partner with a certain breed of people who understands the commitment to make $1 million. Because in order to make $1 million, you got to change the way you think. Otherwise, you would have made $1 million already. So there's a special breed of people that has that resistance to get rejection. Oh no, this is not for me. No problem. Next one. Oh no, what about this? I read this on Web 2 and I did some homework on XAB and they said this. No, you were researching on Web 2, on Google, on YouTube, Web 2 control media. They're going to tell you a whole lot of nonsense about this company. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to do some research, please don't embarrass yourself and say, I went to YouTube and I found this about XAB, and I went to Google behind MLM and all of those fake propaganda sites to say that they found that, because they are still against us. We are doing up 30% a month. You understand that? So, you want to do proper research, you come on the calls with Dr. Jack Van Miller and you see this working in real time. Okay? So let's continue. So I just want to explain that part for you, right? Watch what the next trade does.
Just show another one. So it's already done over 1,000 while I was speaking. Also, what a lot of people that were with us from the beginning can see is that in the beginning the bot had a lot of failed attempts, and that has gone. Definitely, the bot is performing better. For example, here almost 200 XRP. Also, 8 seconds ago, here's the hashtag for if people want to check. Again, verified externally. You see more coming. Again, here one more 16 XRP. 13 seconds ago, and I think the timestamp is really shows that this just happened, and it's just from our system. So let me catch another couple. If you see like a 0, just means that it couldn't see that the profit basically disappeared, so it couldn't execute a profitable trade. So let me just catch another. It already tried almost 3,000 trades. Here we have 2,000 XRP. So yeah, it's 9 seconds ago. The hash is there, and that's, I think, this is really this is what the company is about. That a lot of people just show graphs which are not verified. Here another 600 XRP 5 seconds ago. It saw a difference. It immediately executed. Of course, we are also dependent on the liquidity in the market. Also, the more liquidity gets into the system, the more XRP packages are being bought, the more higher the liquidity in the arbitrage engine, and also the more revenue the arbitrage engine will create. So you see now, I think Julia also can say in the beginning, I had shown a lot of failed attempts, and the bot is just getting better and better. So that's a real machine learning. Here another one 3 seconds ago. So this is not about show. This is showing real data, real arbitrage. That's also why I show it personally, because this is my baby, and it's getting better and better. And I hope that the network marketing community can really take this product and bring it to the next level.
So I'm just going to stop that there, right? So for those of you who want to learn more about how XAB was formulated and the mindset behind it, I did an interview with Dr. Jack, a couple of days, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So that link is also available on YouTube. If you want, I can paste it here. You guys can watch it, because it's interesting to see like how the company dynamics came about, how he was dead against affiliate marketing. He didn't want to get into the network marketing. He wanted to take this to corporates, to the banks, And it's by luck, ladies and gentlemen, it's by the universe coming together that you and I get to have such a powerful tool in our hands. So let's go back to the chat. For those of you who are new here, type in "I'm in." If you're in, type in "I'm in." If you are out and if you don't see any value in this, I would like to say thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. I hope you learned something. But maybe there's somebody in your in your circle, friends or family who might want something like this. Send them to the person who showed it to you, okay? Because we're looking for to build the company in terms of the liquidity. So there you go. And so Sylvia says, "I'm in." Zoom user says that yes, the link to the interview helps. Okay, I'll send that to you shortly. Darylin said he's in, no problem. Denise in 100%, no problem. Let me just post the link for that call on the chat before you guys leave the room, and get back to the person who invited you to the call. Tell them, look, I understood some of the information. I didn't understand all, which is okay, because I mean it's the first time you're seeing this information, right? But my point is that we are here to guide you through this process. We're here to help you understand, but more importantly, we're here to hold your hand through this process. I think that's most important. So you can join our trainings as well. 1 second, guys. I'm just looking for the call with the CEO. You know what I'm talking about. Sorry about that there. There you go. CEO call. Copy. There you go. Copy and chat. Sorry, guys. I've got like 3 screens open, so I got to like really move things around and paste. Okay, so I saw Luke's hand was up. You guys have any questions for me before I go? I don't want to keep you guys much longer. For those of you who have to leave, no problem. Thank you so much for being a part of this. We do this on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Today is the last presentation. Friday is a global presentation, so you get a global view of what we're doing. Saturday is our training. And Sunday is the call with the CEO. Must diarize that, please, right? Tomorrow we'll do a training. We'll let you guys know what we're gonna typo. Okay, cool. Tomorrow we're doing a training. We'll let you know exactly what we're going to, maybe how to onboard, invites, etc. Okay, guys, thank you so much. God bless. Good night and or good morning to you guys from New Zealand, and we catch you on the other side. Cheers. Oh, by the way, go back to the groups and tell the groups what you thought of the call, why they need to be on this call. If you got some value from this call, go back to your groups, our XAB group or the New Zealand group. Type in there, you know what, you guys need to be on the call, or what you think of the call as well. Because feedback for me is very important. As you can see, Zap got his unique style of doing it. Elsa got her unique style, and we don't want to take anything away from anybody. So that is why I would only do the Wednesday call. Monday, Tuesday will be Zap, and anybody else who wants to co-present with him. Wednesday. The reason I'm saying Wednesday I'm doing it is because a lot of you guys are from my TikTok page. So I don't want you to come and say, but Shane, you invited me and I'm seeing somebody else. You know, I don't want that confusion. So Monday, Tuesday, Zach and the team, I'll be on those calls as well. But Wednesday is just going to be myself as well as Zach. He will accompany me, but I'll cover most of the stuff. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Good night, God bless. And we catch you for the Muslim guys out there. What's it? Eid Mubarak, Ramadan Mubarak. I don't want to get it wrong, but I know tomorrow is a big day for y'all because I was in the call today with Shweta, and Rehan Gohar is Muslim as well from London, and they were preparing for Bakri Eid tomorrow. So all the best for those of you who are observing, and we catch you guys